Welcome everyone to Fated Worlds: The Burning Wind. I
Mm-hmm.
am so excited about this. So what we're doing is we're playing the Burning Wheel, which is like the most uh, complicated but awesome role-playing game perhaps ever created. And then doing it in the setting of Patrick Rothfuss's Kingkiller Chronicles, which, if you haven't checked out the books, I would totally recommend it. The first one uh, catapulted Patrick from unheard of to a very big deal. It's
Megastar.
yeah, rock star author. Uh, yes, just amazing stuff. Uh, and I guess how are the rest of you guys doing? Are you as like blown away and on the edge of your seat as I am?
I'm
I'm
pretty excited.
excited
It's
and
gonna be good.
nervous and excited and everything.
I mean,
Um,
we got a lot of wind to blow us off our seat, and
yes.
it's burning, so we probably won't sit down anytime soon either. So, wait.
So I think since this is it's an ongoing show, but this is the first session of this campaign. Uh, Maybe we should take a moment to like introduce our real selves, and then later on we'll like introduce our characters. Um, so
Good idea.
why don't I start with you, Hassa, since you are our illustrious GM, and again, you're in taking on as uh, complicated a game as Burning Wheel. I salute you. I that is so cool.
Well, I mean, the only reason I'm not scared out of my wits is because I know I've got you guys, and you guys are basically the best kind of players you can wish for as a GM. You make your own trouble. I just have to sit back and be like, well, what do you want to do today? What are you going to burn down? So, uh, yeah, I'm Hasa Iona. Uh, I'm mostly here on RPGlory. I didn't really do other things on the internet. I enjoy playing some games. I enjoy me a game of League of Legends. Um, I'm a university student, so I know what all of you guys are going to go through. And yeah, I love role playing games.
Very cool. And really, anybody can jump in, but Kelsa, if you want to go ahead. Sorry.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Kelsa. I also love role playing games. If you are a follower of RPGlory's channel, you may have seen me previously in this time slot where I was GMing a game of Blades in the Dark, and before that, joined in for the really fun Fated Worlds game. The Fated Fate. I can't talk. Just watch the VODs. Uh, I can talk better in those, I promise. Past me is way more articulate than current me. Um, I play in a lot of role playing games online and on Twitch here and a variety of other places. And I'll tell you more about them when my brain works better. It's early for me.
Uh, well, cool. And I do want to thank you for your run doing Blades. That was a
That
lot
was
of
so fun.
It
That's
was
pretty
a lot
cool.
of fun. I really appreciated all of you and everything you did because, as Hasa said, you guys are a brilliant group of people to me just sit back and be like, okay, what are we setting on fire today? All right, let's go.
Pretty much.
And Kala, aka Umbra, how are you doing?
Yes. Yeah, doing just fine. Yeah, I'm Umbra, artist formerly known as William Kildare, the Blades show that we just wrapped up. I'm more or less a math squad and HPJP community fixture, where I make terrible jokes and sometimes talk about game design. It's true. I've been doing this for years now.
Well, if you can't punish your friends, who can you punish?
Indeed. Literally everyone else. Yeah, on the internet, role-playing game-wise, I'm mostly here. I'm pretty much only here. This is all I've got.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you.
Definitely.
Glad to be here.
And Mark, how are you doing?
Yeah, hello. I'm doing good, and as he said, I'm Mark. I'm the only Mark in the group. I'm
Does
22
that
years
happen
old.
often?
Yeah, quite kind of. I'm special.
But it's the good kind of special.
Well, it just depends on who you ask, right? Anyway, I'm 22 years old. I'm also studying, and quite of a chaotic player, just as I am as a person, and I'm proud of that.
Good deal. And also, pleasure to have you.
So your previous characters were kind of an autobiography of your character, or
Of one personality of me, at least.
I see.
Except think that he had quite. I mean, in the beginning, he was one of my personalities, but then, as it developed, I could use more.
Mark, could you
could use more mad scientist?
Name, by the way, to
Oh, God.
My character's
Levi?
name.
Wow, we have Levi and Lynn, and we have got so many similar names.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be great.
change
totally
it.
gonna call.
Is it Levi or Levi?
He's sponsored.
Levi? Okay.
It is Levi. Okay.
Well, and things are already getting off on the wrong foot for my character, because his whole thing is about blending in, and his name doesn't.
Right, the math guy.
So, how do you want to get into this? Do you want to talk a bit? Do you want to explore a little bit more about the characters, or talk a bit about the world, or what?
With a little bit about the world and Burning Wheel, and then quickly hop into characters, because we left a little bit of character creation to now, right? The juice, the meat and bones of the character, the beliefs and instincts, they're still there, to be finished up and set right between you guys and such. So let's start with the world. So first, a warning: there are going to be spoilers. If you our world may be different. Things events may happen differently, or change, or things like that. People may be different, but there are going to be spoilers, and they're probably going to be big ones. So, if you were hoping to read Name of the Wind, then, shoo, go away. Shoo.
Go read it, come back by next week, you'll be up to date, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, go read it, come back, watch the VOD, you'll be fine. The world is the world is a bit of a fantasy world. It's with its own more realistic twist. You've got wizards, but they don't just point their wands at something. No, like if they want to be able to lift up an object magically, then they have to still put in like the muscle force that is needed to lift it up. And the only magic about it is that they can do it from a distance. There's also slightly more fantastical and magical things. There's magic that can be done by just speaking the name of something. I mean, that's certainly fantastical. But generally, the world is a little more realistic, a little more gritty, a little more, beggars and thieves and rich that, mess with the poor, and poor that mean nothing, and things like that. And that's what makes like Burning Wheel a great system for this game, because Burning Wheel has the same thing. Burning Wheel is focused on storytelling. So it has a lot of great mechanics for that, such as that you get awarded for playing out the beliefs that your character has, or following your character's basic instincts. But on the other hand, it also has a lot of rules. There are specific rules for money, for instance, that decide not only how difficult it is to pay for something, but also how much money you have, not just based on your money, but also based on, hey, the people that can give you money. And there are specific things for loans and like on-hand cash and cash tied up in assets, and like what happens to you when you pay for something expensive, like the fact that your cash flow diminishes. It's got all these intricate little rules for all these kind of things, and that's really cool. It gives the system a very realistic feel, very like, hey, if I can do this by the rules, my character can actually realistically do this. It also means that we're gonna mess up in like doing the game system a bunch of times. Burning Wheel is hella complicated, but we'll try. We'll muddle through. So our characters will be starting in the Commonwealth, specifically at the university. The university is the place where you can learn magic, amongst other things such as chemistry and artificing and all other kinds of interesting or less interesting subjects.
History. Languages.
History,
Yes.
arithmetics. So these people are all relatively young people, age 25, give or take. And they hold on, I need to turn off my Skype alerts. It's distracting.
Sorry.
Not your fault. Where was my thought? Yeah, you guys are all young students at the university. You've been in the university for, either you're just accepted or you've been in there for a few terms, who knows, but you're still starting out at university. So, Desi, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Oh boy. 1 second.
What does Desi look like? What is she like?
Desi has medium length, stringy brown hair. It's super flat, and she can't do anything with it. She's a little bit on. She's got that kind of It's got that kind of figure that people would alternatively describe as skinny or fat, where she's got like fat stored in weird places, and she doesn't conform to like any of the like apple, pear, hourglass figures that you expect a woman to. And she hides all of that by wearing really baggy clothing that doesn't fit well. Very loose, like robes and dresses, a lot of layers. And she has very long fingers, but the ring finger of her left hand is missing, and that's important later.
Okay.
It's a very notable feature about her. But she is also disturbed and misunderstood, as her traits speak to. Everybody knows there's something a little bit off about her. Everybody looks at her and kind of gives her the side eye. She's been at the university for at least a year now, and has developed a couple of reputations for herself, as both as being misunderstood, someone who is not. She talks in riddles very often, you could say. And anytime anyone gets in a conversation with her, it's always really hard to understand where she's coming from, because she can't say things plainly. And she also has, but at the same time, she used to be a local village augur, and she still has the knowledge and know-how to read fortunes. And so she has a small side business, you could say, that helps her pay for university by reading students, like, mostly it's always love every single time. I mean, not every time.
Doesn't
Sometimes
she get
it's,
bored
will
of
I
that?
pass this test, and it's like, just study. But more and more, it's, I mean, there's both men and women going to this university, and dear Lord, do they get into some weird relationships, and they come to her for advice, and then she reads the stars, and then she tells them what she sees in a cryptic riddle, as is her fashion, and then they misinterpret it, and then they get all pissy, and you know how that goes. Or they interpret it, or they misinterpret it, and then things turn out swimmingly, and at least for a while. And then when it goes downhill, it's been long enough that they didn't realize that it was exactly what she predicted all of those 6 months ago. So she has two reputations: one for being misunderstood, for talking in riddles, and one for being the person to go to for love life advice.
Okay. Mothers.
Oh, don't mind me. Mathers is has sort of ashy brown hair, medium length. He's got sort of a medium build. He's just unremarkable to look at, and he very much goes out of his way to just not stand out. He's usually fairly reserved, and while he does sort of know a lot of people, and he's been at the school for the university forever, for like 8 years, but he's still an Elir, and this whole this whole grasping, magic with both hands and making stuff happen has sort of eluded him.
Don't you need to be in the Arcanum to be an Elir? So technically, Mathers wouldn't even be an Elir yet.
That may be. Okay.
I think so. I just listened to that part of the audiobook, so if I understood it correctly, you only reach Elir once you get accepted into the Arcanum.
Okay.
So you're not you're a scrub.
Not even that. Yeah.
Have you had a lot of trouble with Master Hem over your?
Well,
wobbly
I know
lines
that.
of sympathy?
Yeah, I know that. Master. Well, I think
I bet
that
he likes,
he's never like
spinning
impressed him in any way. But he certainly doesn't have like the issues that Quoth would had. Like he's just kind of under the radar.
I mean,
And-
how could he have the same problems? He can't even do anything right now. And
Yeah.
so, you wish.
Okay.
And
So, a question I forgot to ask you,
Mhm.
Desi, as well.
Yes.
What is your upbringing? Do you come like are you rich?
Oh no, not even a little bit. No, she came from a very poor background. Her affinity for being gifted and eventually for reading the stars was discovered at a very early age, and she um, in the small poor peasantry village that she, or I don't even know, it's not a village, the peasantry, it lives like however that works. But so she spent significant portion of her childhood living in a small remote shack with an old wise woman who took advantage of her powers, claimed them for her own, and so on.
Okay.
Eventually, she when that woman died, she went for a little walkabout, discovering more and more of her own powers until she got branded as a rogue wizard and made her way to the university to legitimize herself.
How about you, Mathers?
well, he doesn't really have his due. Like he was born a noble, and early off his family kind of got on the wrong side of some of a political situation. Yeah. Uh, so he's had to more or less fend for himself for some time. But in order to pay for the exorbitant school tuition, he has started a bit of a side business that.
Resourceful, these students.
Yes. And it might not quite be legal, and the university wouldn't quite approve of it if they knew about it. It involves getting other students to make alchemical mixtures and then smuggling them to Ventus, which is a country that just doesn't approve of anything magical, really.
So, are you from Ventus?
No. I'm from the Commonwealth. Grew up kind of near Imre, and then just kind of, and he has like wandered around a bit, but he's spent most of his life in the city.
Okay. Lynn Wenger. Who are you?
Yes.
What do you look like?
Let's see. Lynn is a cis girl at heart. Was born and raised in Tinway in northern Ventus, and she realized in her late teens, I think it worked out that she had an affinity for magic, and in some way she was recognized by a court wizard of a minor noble lived in the vicinity of Tinway, a baron of some kind, and she had a few good years there, then over the years she fell in love with the Baron's daughter. Very
Scandalous.
indeed romantic, tragic. As eventually they decided to run away, that they didn't want the life that they found themselves in. So they've spent the last 6 years or so on the road, doing more or less a tour of visiting all the four corners of civilization. When they eventually decided that they needed to settle down somewhere, and Lynn remembered that she has an uncle, Uncle Jeffrey, that lives in Imre, works out of there, and like, hi, I'm a wizard. I should go to the university to learn this formally, so that people don't.
Yeah.
So that's where she's ended up now. So now she's in her mid-20s. She's black and she has like super curly hair. You can tell that she puts a lot of work in. She looks rather pretty, if I would say so myself. And
you may.
I will. And probably because word has gotten around a bit, but she's been at the university for maybe like half a semester now, and let's just say that she's been approached by more than a few people with some romantic interests and turned them down.
Has anybody come to Desi with complaints about Lynn? How do I get Lynn to love me?
I mean, I'd never tell. I mean, probably. I feel like probably. Lynn, have you ever come to Desi and be like, how do I get these people to stop coming after me?
That might be how we know each other.
That's fair. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So she's gotten a bit of a reputation as an ice heart, cold-hearted woman. Yeah, they more or less spent their last money on buying a house. Her and her lover Katerina. So they own a small house outside of the university itself, not in Imre, but in like college town that's risen up outside the university. Yeah. And Lynn probably knows our dear friend Mathers for a joint alchemy business. Yeah, own a bit of shared workspace. They experiment on things.
Cool. And Levi, I'm very curious about you because I actually don't know what you're like at all. Tell me about yourself.
On the ship, like born and raised on the ship deck, where I spent most of my days. No, I can't rap it like a Prince of Bel Air. Yeah. So my first few years, I don't really have too much memory of that because, it were the first few years of my life. But those were the times I spent with my mother. Sadly, she died before I really get to know her. So I somehow managed to meet up with my father, who was a sailor. And I spent some time on a ship with him until the moment he would sail off the known map. And he was asking me if I would come along or if I would not. And I did say no. So he left without me. And I went with a friend of him that also not was willing to go somewhere he didn't know where he would end up. And yeah, he conscripted into the military, took me along. And after fetching water for a year and doing all the stuff a boy can do, someone looked looked at me and saw my talent. So I worked with heralds for a few years there, until a noble man called, what was it again? Conrad Winston saw my talents also and took me to his court, where I worked a bit and became a courtier. And after some time, I managed to get on his good side, on his really good side, because I did good work. I was smart. I did the things that he would approve, and I was loyal. So at some point, he adopted me, and I actually became a noble there, and studied under him to become in the far future the head of his intelligence group that he has, or something like that. I mean, I don't know if the word intelligence is a word you would use at that time, but that's more or less what the family does. They get information and sell them around. So after I've studied a bit at the court, I was sent to university to
Further your studies?
For my further studies, and maybe to do a job or two, depending on what happens.
Oh. You're gathering intelligence here?
Yes.
Oof.
In more ways than one.
Consider yourself spied on.
Ooh.
So basically, he's someone who climbed the ladder from the very ground
From nowhere to somewhere.
To actually quite a high place right now.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about your beliefs, traits, and instincts, because beliefs, traits, and instincts are at the heart of the game. So everybody has 3 beliefs, I believe 3 instincts, and a
Yes.
variety of traits depending on how their life has gone up until now. So let me look at which page in the book. There we go. Page numbers. I've decided to write down all the page numbers of important pages. So whenever I need to look up something up, I can just look in my list and find something. There we go. Beliefs, traits, and instincts. Page 19 or 56. Let's start with 19. So let's start with beliefs. I will read from the book. A player must determine the top 3 priorities for his character. These are fundamental ideas that are very important to their character, such as I hate nobles. But it's not just as open-ended as that. It must be tied into a specific goal, a specific plan, your route you're taking. I hate nobles, so I will kill them all. That is a belief.
It's a very long-term
whether
list.
you succeed at that belief, questionable, but that's a good belief. So, let's do this in the same order. Desi, do you already have any beliefs?
I have 2. I was in the middle of trying to figure out a third one.
Okay.
But I do have my instincts and traits all done here.
Okay, so tell me the 2 beliefs that you have.
The beliefs I have so far is the peasantry knows nothing of magic. I will help open their eyes to the truths of the world.
Ooh. Okay.
And my second belief is Lynn and Katerina are good friends of mine. I'll help them any way I can.
Okay, so one thing you can consider when making Burning Wheel characters is that that sometimes it's a good idea to break up your beliefs in sub beliefs. You don't have to do this. I think your beliefs are fine, but if you break up like the peasantry belief into, okay, what is the first step that you're going to take? Like, are there specific peasants that you're going to convince, or a specific town of peasants, or what are you going to do?
I feel
First?
like the peasantry thing is kind of a fate grinder where
Okay,
it may
sure.
never get done, but it's a driving force behind her will. The Lynn and Katarina thing might be if there's Kala, if there's anything that you can think of like that they need help with right now.
Let's see. Right now, probably not. Like, not off the top of my head. But there'll probably be something eventually.
I'll create something for you guys. No worries.
Yeah.
Well,
Something's gonna
I'll
be on
help
fire
And
them with
eventually.
that
I
thing.
imagine there's things, right? I mean, I remember that you have a disapproving uncle who does not like you being at the university.
Indeed.
And
So
I
that
think
could become a problem
that
very
Mark, you
fast.
gave me my final belief when I listened to him describe his character, and that is I do not trust Levi.
But he's charismatic.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't trust you. I want to get to, what do I want to do? I want to find out more about him. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, those are two choices you have with your beliefs. I think Kelsa said that better than me. You can have a belief that's small and actionable. That belief will earn you persona points. So there's 3 types of reward points that you can get from your beliefs, instincts, and traits. The first is fate. Fate is fairly easy to acquire and can be used for small numerical boosts in the game. Persona points, they're harder to get, and they're awarded for achieving a goal or doing something big, like solving a belief. And then there's deed points, and for deed points, you really need to go above and beyond. You need to set down something amazing, like some a selfless deed that does not benefit you in a momentous occasion. Like you need to do something crazy to get those, but they're worth a lot. So you can create beliefs that give you more persona points because they're easier to solve, or you can gain a belief that's more long term that's gonna give you a lot of trouble easily, such as convincing the peasantry of the existence of magic. That's that's definitely not going to result in pitchforks and stuff like that. So yeah, there's these 2 choices that you can consider when deciding how to broadly make your beliefs. So let's move on to Mathers. Do you have any beliefs yet?
I do. So, I thought I had 2. Okay. So I just have one down right now, which is that the university's vast knowledge is being completely wasted. I will use it to gain influence in Imre's criminal underground with no one the wiser.
Okay.
That's a pretty great.
That's a pretty cool one, yeah. So, did you have any ideas for the other 2? Anything
Yeah.
that Mathers cares about?
Yeah, I think that Jesse and Lynn are exceptional sympathists, and I should gently, and I will gently encourage them to uh, explore explore their talents in a way that is profitable to me.
Very good. Interesting.
Yes, and something with uh, I'm sorry, is it Levy?
Yes.
Levy, okay.
Or Levi is better, I think.
Levi, okay.
Levi. Okay. I was thinking Levi now. This is so confusing. I'm gonna
Or should
be
I
like
just rename
Desi,
to
Levi,
something else that is
Davy,
easier to remember?
Levi.
Like
No.
can make Leroy out of
Oh
it.
no!
Leroy.
Levi or whatever is fine.
Is it Leroy?
I mean, you can keep it. We'll just mispronounce it.
I don't care.
Levi is easy. It's fine.
Levi.
Just think about pants.
Something about
Think of the League of Legends champions,
yeah.
Levi.
Something about Levi being a kindred soul.
Kindred.
Yes.
2 more League of Legends champions. Damn.
And finding
you can think
out.
about it for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get back to what I want to do about thinking that he's a kindred soul.
Yeah.
Something. Definitely.
Okay. Lynn, do you have any beliefs yet?
Yes, I think I just worked out my last ones based on everything that's been happening here.
Okay.
So first and foremost, Katarina is my everything, my heart and soul. I'll do whatever I can to keep her safe.
Reasonable.
Number 2, we have to stay under the radar so that Baron Whalen and his people don't find us. First, we need to find out if someone is coming after us. And number 3, Mathers is a skilled alchemist, but I worry about his ultimate purpose. I'll make sure that whatever he's doing doesn't get me into trouble.
Of course not.
Okay.
My instincts are, if someone's trying to start trouble with my friends, I go after them like there's no tomorrow. When I have some time to spare, practice my alchemy. And when someone confronts me, I go loud.
Yeah. So instincts are they're smart, short sentences like belief, but they're just truth about your character. If this, then always that, or I always do this or that, or I never do this or that. They're your basic instincts. They mean you can always fall back on, but of course I was prepared for this situation. Or they're also a way of getting yourself fate points by getting yourself into trouble by being like, well, it wouldn't be very convenient if I spoke up right now, but unfortunately my instinct is that I have to speak up in situations like this, so here I go.
Yep.
All or nothing. So you all get 3 of those. Levi,
Yes.
tell me, do you have any beliefs yet?
I was thinking about them, and I think I do have at least 2.
Okay.
The first one would be the air is always better the higher you get, and to get higher you need to be good. So another one would be debts out to be paid, and loyalty. If you are loyal to someone, you should be all the way. Otherwise, your death is better to be a traitor. Or
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. How can you put that into words? Like, loyalty is eternal, or something like that. Loyalty is the most important good. So what action does that mean? I will never break my word. That sounds more like an instinct.
It's not about breaking my word. It's about about my relationship that I do have, and that I will not cross that person, no matter what.
Try making it more specific. Like, whose word will you never cross?
Okay. That would be Conrad Winston.
Okay.
It's better to be dead than a traitor to Conrad Winston.
Yeah, so like reword that so that it's like, I believe this and this is the action I will take. So I will I am incredibly loyal to
I will die before I break my loyalty to Conrad Winston.
I guess that's reasonable enough. What was the one you mentioned before? Can you repeat that one?
The higher you get, the better the air.
Mm-hmm.
And to get high, you have to be good. So I'll get that better.
Okay, so make that a little more actionable. What are you going to do to get high? Are you going to become an Alir or a Relar?
I will never. I will always try to keep improving. That's what it is.
Okay, but turn that into an actionable goal.
Like
not getting
what
lazy.
is the next thing you want to improve
on
on the list of everything you want to improve? Like, I'm always getting better, but specifically, I'm going to get better at this one thing.
These beliefs, they're kind of like aspects in faith, but a very big difference is that they need to have a specific goal tied to them. Else you can't really you can't really resolve them, or it's harder to resolve them. Which means that you're less likely to get rewards from them unless they're particularly troublesome, like the one Kelsa mentioned.
Okay.
This is true for you, right? You're a very ambitious person, but what is the next thing on your ambitious goal list? Once that is solved, you can change your belief to whatever your next goal is, or maybe you decide to not be ambitious then. Like, just break it up into a smaller step.
Then to achieve that goal, I will learn magic.
Okay, that's a good one.
Well, even that you might want to break down some, because there's a lot of magic to learn.
Yeah, but
it'll probably...
he's quite new. He just arrived and he has no idea about how it works. So that's why I thought it's good that it's brought, because he has no idea how it works right now.
And I suppose, like, as you go, you can like refine it so that, like, once you know a little bit more about magic, you'll know that next step to take, and just have that modify your belief to that.
Sure. Okay. Do you have an idea for a third belief? You can think about it as well.
Yeah. Actually, I think it would be an interesting tension. Like, Lynn is a wonderful thing, and I will never hurt it.
What was that?
Lynn is a wonderful thing, and I will never hurt her. Like, something like that.
Are you going to be...
Shit, are you in love with Lynn too? God.
I mean,
another one.
That would be appropriate.
That can definitely be very interesting.
Yeah, sure. Join the club. I think they have jackets by now.
Right?
All right. Okay, I'm done with my beliefs. Good.
Cool. Then let's move on to instincts. Desi, do you have any instincts?
I do. I have 3 instincts. If I can figure out where my window with them all went. Here we go. My first instinct is never speak plainly.
I love that.
This would get me in trouble every time.
That's wonderful.
My second instinct is always consult the stars before beginning an endeavor and have my divining dice on me at all times.
Okay.
And the third is never turn down chocolates or sweets.
Ooh.
That could be better. Well,
It's a
Yeah,
long-term
those are
trouble right
instincts.
there.
Mothers, do you have any instincts?
Yes. I don't have my third one, but I do have the instinct to always blend in, and when asked personal information, lie.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
It is.
And I'm not sure where to go with the third one, whether or not to do like something that's probably something that's more useful than just one that will cause trouble, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I believe we already heard yours, Lynn.
Yes.
And Levi. It's so much easier now that I have the little mind trick. Levi, do you have any instincts yet?
thinking about it.
Okay.
Oh, if trouble ensues, I start to disappear.
Okay, sure. When trouble, get the hell out of there. That's definitely a good one. So you can definitely think about it. If you need any help with that, let me know. You can look at like what has your character done and lived. What was his life like up until now? And that should determine, or that can give you ideas about, okay, if they were noble, if they feel privileged, then their belief might have something to do. But if they were poor, then that might influence their belief. Or if they had a certain profession that taught them certain values, you can weigh stuff like that in. There's no hurry. I don't like, if you guys don't have all your stuff ready right now for the first session, that is not a problem. So quickly to go over traits. I assume you all have traits, since it's pretty hard
What are traits?
to create a character without doing that. But just mention the important one or ones. Desi.
I think all of my traits are important. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
I've already mentioned actually most of them. That is, she is disturbed. She is misunderstood. She is well-traveled, which it just describes that she's been around. And she has long fingers and a missing digit, as well as Touch of Ages, which is a really cool thing. Lets her read auras of objects, specifically in this situation, using her ghost finger. And of course, she's also gifted, which means that she can perform sympathy.
So. Don't forget to rename that to Alar.
Alar, yeah. Well.
Mothers. What traits do you possess?
Probably the one that's gonna be driving him the most is that he's paranoid. Yes. Technically, because he's a student, he's a rabble rouser, but that is one of those traits that he's probably going to
try to get voted off.
Yeah, go against at every opportunity. He may have a little bit too much of a fondness for drink. And obviously he's quite mercenary. And technically he's a lord. Technically.
Technically.
Lynn, how about you?
Yes, I think also my traits are also very important, all of them. Definitely.
I shouldn't have said anything.
as a former student, I'm also known to be a bit of a rabble rouser as a renegade wizard. It can be a bit spooky, and she's also
Ooh.
quite temperamental.
So you're
quick
the kind
temper.
of scary woman that can come into a room and look at you with one like fierce like look, and then you're just sitting there silent. Like, is it like that?
Indeed. She
Cool.
also has the geometric trait, so she's good at
Oh,
math.
clever.
She's a believer, so she has all the iconography of the Italian faith. She has mastered the LR to some extent, and she does have the piercing gaze that you alluded to. She just stare you down.
Even that, she is so scary.
Indeed.
Levi.
Yes. My traits. So he knows how to. Okay. He knows how to stay on the ship, how to run on the ship, and how to not vomit on the ship.
Good.
He's has a rapier wit. He's charismatic, and that helps his persuasion. And he's also driven.
Cool. Okay. Is there anything we need to do before we can drop into play?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
Did anybody come up with missing instincts or beliefs or that I still need to know about, or are those still open?
Actually, I think I'm going to leave that, if you don't mind, I'm going to leave that instinct open, and I imagine, stuff will come up in play that will make me happy that I left it open, because then I'll just fill it right in, and it'll be awesome.
Cool.
I have fun. When I feel affection, I rather snap.
What do you mean by that?
If someone is nice to me and I really feel it, I'm not like I'm showing that. I'm like, no.
Okay.
I'm not,
You're not a good
stop
at dealing
that.
with it.
That doesn't even flatter me. Come on, what are you doing?
Okay.
No, senpai.
Where? Sorry, can I ask one thing here? Kala, you should know. Where in the world is circumnation listed in the codex again?
See, it's in the Wizard Burner.
Yeah, like I cannot find the stupid page.
Do you need it for something? Because we won't be
I just
needing
wanted
the
to
rules so
reread
much.
it, and
It's on page
Well, we won't-
413.
We won't be
you.
needing the rules so much because we're going to replace circumnation by bigotry.
Yeah, I just wanted to this here. Okay, no, I'm good. All
So
right.
it would just allow you to create written sympathy.
Yep, I'm all right.
Okay.
I got it.
So I want to go back, and that is further or more recent for you guys depending on your situation, to when you first did admissions for the university. Because I am very curious how that went, because that was your first impression at the university. So we're going to assume that you guys all made it, since it'd be strange for you not to have made it. That would make our story a little awkward. But I'm curious to find out just how much trouble you got yourselves into through the process of that. So imagine you're entering a big stone hall, and on a platform there's a long table, and behind those tables sit the masters. The masters are all men, ranging from mature to positively ancient. And they look down at you with stern looks and beckon you in closer. And then, like, this flood of incredibly complicated and confusing questions come towards you. And some you might have prepared yourself decently well for. Others just catch you off guard completely. And at the end of that, they look at you with a stern look and decide exactly how poor you're going to be the coming semester. So I'm not gonna put you through the horrors that you will experience with the host of questions, but I'd like to ask each of you 2 questions to just give you an idea of the kind of things that you might have been asked. And of course, I expect excellent answers on them, or you'll pay for it dearly. So Desi, welcome. Tell me, if someone comes to you with a headache and sore feet, what is your diagnosis?
I'll need to touch them.
All right.
And then, what is your diagnosis?
The stream only flows in one direction.
You see, one of the masters raises an eyebrow and says, So, what knowledge is it that you are basing yourself on right now? This is not a question from the masters. That's a question from me.
I don't really. I think See,
Let me phrase it differently. What
I'm
skill
looking at
are
her
you
skills,
rolling?
and there's really not much that applies here. So if anything, I'd be going off of omen-wise.
Omen-wise. I'm not sure that really applies.
Although I imagine Elodin might like that answer.
She has 0 knowledge of.
Well, you can try and do a beginner's luck test.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, what do you want to test your luck for? Medicine? Some kind of more acupuncturist kind of skill? Like some kind of alternative medicine? Where's the book? Here it is. Skill list.
I mean, unless I can base this off of alchemy, which I don't think I can.
No. You got unlucky with your question. This is not very alchemical.
Nope, it's fair. It's fair. This is definitely something that she would be outside of her. I think I want a beginner's luck in, like, is that even a thing? Midwifery?
It is. I'm pretty sure it is.
I think that would be the closest thing that she would actually have. Yeah, midwifery. Here we go. Yeah, I think that's the closest thing that she would have to any kind of medical knowledge.
Okay.
So I'm gonna base it off of that.
Cool. Yeah, you can definitely do that. You're also, by the way, welcome to roll for an ability instead of a skill, and then figure out what the beginner's luck test was for later. So let's see.
It won't let me.
This midwifery. I have no clue yet what to set obstacles at, but this to me sounds like an obstacle 3 test. So that is makes it obstacle 6 after doubling.
Well,
I don't see any advantages or disadvantages that you might have here. I don't know if I mentioned, you all start with a persona point and a fate point that you are, of course, welcome to use.
No, that's
okay.
good to know.
Let's see. Can I fork astrology here? Because you can fork astrology to anything.
I mean,
I can't fork it because
It's beginner's luck.
I can't fork anything. Okay, never mind. No modifiers then, I guess. I will not spend Artha. Obstacle 6. Here to go.
It's gone.
No. All right, let me try again.
Lost to oblivion.
the stars do not favor you today.
Yikes.
Obstacle 12? I don't think that that was exactly what you intended to have. But let's say that was...
because it was supposed to be...
Double it automatically, yeah.
It was supposed to be 3, double it automatically. I'm sorry, I put in the wrong thing. Still nowhere near being able to do it. I just failed pretty miserably.
But you do... you can mark that beginner's luck test. So don't forget to do that. Okay. You get a couple of questions, and then at some point, one of the youngest gentlemen at the table, known as Chancellor Elodin, gives you a piercing stare, and you feel like he looks straight into your soul. Are you comfortable with this?
Surprisingly.
Okay.
I feel like Desi didn't realize that she would be comfortable with this until it started happening, and then she's like, "No, this is a familiar feeling. It's okay."
Okay. Master Elodin asks you, why does wood burn better than iron?
I think that her answer here is she can't speak plainly. It's against the law. Oh no, I didn't. Oh shoot, I forgot I took that off in this build. It's fine. I used to have fairy tale wise or something weird like that. Anyway, not important. I don't have that anymore, so we're just gonna go off the. This is where I can tap into alchemy for knowledge of why things burn better than other things. But her answer is fire and iron are not friends.
Elodin nods at you. So what are you rolling and what are you forking?
Okay, this time I am gonna roll alchemy. And let's see. This time I can fork astrology.
I mean it's Elodin. You can practically fork in anything.
I'm not even gonna I can't fork falsehoods because what she said is true.
Fair enough.
I didn't cuss, so I can't fork in profanity wise. I mean, my skills are not great for this. It's fine though. Circumnation would not work, or symbology in this case. I mean, can I tap into my sorcery for or as it should be my
sympathy.
My sympathy for this, my knowledge of heat transference.
You know, I can see that. I can see that.
Okay. I want to say ugly truth, but that doesn't really. It's just the idea of maybe I'm insulting Steel a little bit. I don't know.
I don't think Steel is aware enough of it to care.
It's boring.
Yeah. Steel, I hate.
I hate you, Steel.
Well, no, I hate to break this to you, Steel, but
Reed's not going to help me here because I mean, unless I was to like retroactively do a link test where I read about this particular thing. Yeah, I think, and I think that's going to be it. Just unless I can also say symbology here, because knowing about the nature of things to be able to write the sigils would be.
I don't think that's necessarily appropriate. I mean, the
search
other way
sigil tree?
around, you could fork in knowing about things to do symbology, but I'm not sure if it works both ways. But you got
Okay.
2 forks, that's good.
All right, and my last die is going to be my astrology die. So if it's a 1 or a 6, that matters. Otherwise, it doesn't. Not going to spend any obs. Artha, what's my ob?
3.
Okay.
I've decided that you will all get ob 3 questions. Oh,
Success
Nice.
and 1 more 6 because my last die was a 6.
oh.
And that's a failure. Okay.
So,
Hello?
oh,
There we go.
yeah. Levi
What?
disappeared for a moment.
What?
Okay.
Everything's fine.
So, the kind of fees you pay, they range from well, roughly between 4 and 30 talents. You can get less or more than that, but you need to be exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, Desi, are you of a particularly famous noble house? Because this plays into your fee.
Oh, no, not at all. Also, I'm going to re-roll this just not for anything, just so I can confirm that this should be... okay, it's listed as routine. Why is it still listed as routine?
Because you used the unmodified obstacle, I think?
No, when I... Oh, well, because it was listed as routine when
But
it was...
it doesn't matter if it's routine, though, right? It's just a test.
I guess that's true, because I'm doing a...
Beginner's luck.
The beginner's
So
luck.
whether
Never
it's
mind.
routine
Yeah.
or
I don't
not
know why I
doesn't really
care.
matter.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think the beginner's luck always turns it into routine, no matter what the obstacle
Yeah,
is.
I think you're right. Because it's always the same. Anyway, no, she's not of a particularly anything house of anything.
Okay, so for those of you who do not know the monetary system, let me quickly go through it. Currency and time. Okay, so the standard, there are various types of currency, but the most standardized version has shims, drabs, jots, talents, and marks. So 12 to 14 shims makes 1 drab. Depends on the metal the shim is made of and the quality.
Mm-hmm.
10 metal drabs is 1 copper jot. 10 copper jots are a silver talent. 10 silver talents are a golden mark. So it is between roughly 4 silver talents and 3 golden marks. The price that you will be paying for your tuition. The gentlemen discuss for a moment with each other, and you particularly see Master Elodin arguing with vigor and enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of this discussion, they walk back to you, and Master Elodin beckons you over. He says, "Come here, come here."
I follow.
And he hands you a slip of paper, and he tells you, "We've decided to put your tuition at 6 talents and 3 jots.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
that's reasonable.
I will pull out some money to pay him.
So you got 2 options here. Depending on how
I better
how
hurry up and
fluent in
finish calculating
currency
my
you are.
resources.
We've already determined that you somehow meet this because you are enrolled in the university.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
But I'll give you 2 options. One is you can say, okay, I did it. I'm not going to roll resources. I'm just going to tell you how I got the money, but it got me in a bunch of trouble. This is how it happened. That's things like taking a loan from Davy or something like that. The other option is rolling resources and taking seeing where that gets you. Either way, I will grant you whatever you were going for. But if you fill your resources roll as normally would happen within Burning Wheel, you will get taxed. This means that your resources will be reduced temporarily. You can bring them back up by doing a job. And if it gets reduced to 0, then it will get reduced permanently, and you can only increase it by doing advancement tests.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to you which you go for. I can imagine that's totally personal. So what do you want?
What would be the ob if I was to roll it?
Let me see. It'd be between 1 and 4, but let me check what the actual thing is.
Because I did just calculate my starting resources, and they're 3, which is not bad.
That is not bad.
Not bad at all.
I imagine that this would be... I'm doubting between 2 and 3. I'm gonna say up to. So this is an up to test. So you can decide to do this via your resources.
Okay, and then I also have a cash die, which I want to keep. I want that to represent like the money I have from running my shop and telling fortunes and stuff between when this happened and when we're starting the game. So like I didn't have that die then. So I'm just gonna roll it and go with whatever consequences are happen because of it. Did it!
Nice. No problem. So yeah, you happen to have 6 silver talents and 3 jots.
I do. Maybe it wasn't on me at the time, but yes.
So don't forget to mark your tests, of course, for advancement. Mathers. It's your turn next to enter into the Great Hall of Doom. Oh, you are very muted.
As opposed to regular muted.
Yes, sorry about that. I don't know if we should actually roll on this, but I imagine that Mathers would engage in a fair amount of haggling beforehand to get himself to a advantageously sort of late position in the questioning process, and do a fair amount of asking and getting other people to ask what sort of questions the school administrators are asking this year in order to gain as much advantage as possible.
We can definitely do that as a linked test.
Okay.
You are welcome to create trouble for yourself.
I just think that's sort of the way his mind works. Is that he would want to game this system. Um, so, yeah, I will just go ahead and just roll it,
So
or no?
yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. What is your obstacle going to be? Um. So which?
Yeah, normally it'd be
which
the
player?
haggling of the person I'm haggling with.
So haggling is arguing over a price, right?
Yeah.
So what price are you arguing over? Like, is this actual haggling? Doesn't sound like it. Sounds more like convincing. Like, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds a bit more like persuasion to me, possibly.
Okay.
Something like that.
I mean, it would be quibbling over the price multiple times of switching people, switching with others for their later slots in the questioning.
Okay, so
But
let's assume for a moment you succeeded that, but let's see if you succeed at finding out information.
Okay. So, are we thinking persuasion or?
Depends on how you're doing it. Are you eavesdropping on people? Are you bullying them into telling you?
Oh no.
Begging them to tell you? Are you tricking them into telling you? Do you break into the building and listen to what they say?
No. Well, I think that it's primarily just primarily tricking them into it. Like he's saying things that are likely to bring up that topic, and then asking a question or two. But he's also probably trying to inveigle others into uh, uh, getting them to ask these questions so that he can ask them. So it doesn't. So there isn't this appearance to others of him asking everybody these sorts of questions. So I don't know what that would be.
I have no idea either. Does anybody have an idea what that would be?
Yes, no, maybe. Can you repeat the question?
What skill that would fall under? That sort of running this. You could call it a scam.
Yeah,
Persuasion, maybe.
Sounds like falsehood to me. If you're like lying to people.
Yeah, falsehood.
Okay.
Was what I was thinking, but I'm afraid that Burning Wheel has too many skills to know.
Yeah, they probably have something that's more specific that only covers like a few things ever. But
so it does look like falsehood. Falsehood is barefaced lying.
Okay. Well, yeah, there's definitely some lying involved.
Yeah. So did you have falsehood?
Yes. Mathers has falsehood.
Okay. Good. Great.
Okay. So I assume I click on the die and then it's gonna no. Okay. Hey, how does this thing work? I have not used this character sheet other than for making the character in Roll20 before, so I'm not sure how to get it to.
Isn't it just clicking the die?
Yeah, click on the die icon.
Yeah, you should just be able to click on the little die, and then it'll pop up a box for you.
Is there a?
Want me to try and do it for you?
Sure.
Where's falsehood? Here's falsehood. Yeah, I'm getting it.
Oh, okay.
Modifiers.
Sometimes it pops under your
Are you
character
fucking
sheet
anything in?
you're not careful. Or if you have the character sheet popped out, it'll pop up in the Roll20 and you might miss it.
Okay.
I can fill it in for you for now, no problem. So are you forking anything?
Probably. Perhaps appraisal. Perhaps persuasion.
I can imagine persuasion being forked in. Not sure if appraisal is very appropriate.
Fair enough.
I could imagine inconspicuous, maybe even
Okay.
being forked in.
Okay. Inconspicuous haggling, I think, should definitely be forked in there.
Well, this is the like getting people to.
This is just okay. Okay. Anything to do with astrology? Just
I mean, astrology could tell you where to be, when to find the right people to lie to.
Okay, and I think that's probably it. Oh, yeah, I don't think research would be okay. So those three, and I guess the last die is the astrology die, so it can modify negatively as well.
Okay, are you using any earth there?
No.
Okay, the base obstacle. So the base obstacle is like getting people to tell you something. It's going to be doable. I think the base obstacle is going to be a 2. Oh, why
Okay.
does it not give me the ability to add disadvantage? Because I wanted to give you a disadvantage, and namely that is the fact that everybody is very alert on this right now. You know, they know that it's this time of the year, and people are going to try and get them to tell these kind of things. Either way, you succeed. So you get 1 advantage die towards your towards one of your questions.
So the last die was a 1. So I guess I need to make sure that doesn't keep on exploding down.
I thought you could only explode up. Must have missed that part.
If you forked it only is a thing if you forked astrology.
Okay.
Which I did.
So it only explodes 1 time.
Okay.
If it's a failure, it gives you 1 less success. But if it's a success, then it doesn't count.
So either way,
basically,
you succeeded.
if you reroll the 1
Okay.
and it's a 1, 2, or a 3, it counts against you.
Okay.
So
And
you
there.
succeeded either way.
Okay.
Don't forget that you can decide like what you allocate your successes to. If you look in,
like what?
if you look at the handout section, I have created 2 handouts for you. One of those is player responsibilities. Don't be scared. It's just a list to remind you of the stuff you can make use of. And the section after you roll, it says that you can allocate extra successes to working patiently or quickly. So you can work patiently and do an extra good job, or you can work quickly and be done faster. I don't think it matters a lot in this case what you go for, but then you know for the future that this is something you can do.
Okay. And this is a routine test, so it doesn't go towards advancement.
Okay. And I imagine it would still be routine if the obstacle was 3. So.
Yeah.
So you appear better prepared than everybody else. But the question is, are you prepared enough?
Let us see.
So let me grab a list of the masters that are sitting in front of you. I had that prepared in one of my bazillion notes. There we go. You get a beautiful question by Master Hem.
Oh boy.
Master Hem looks at you
He probably likes Mathers.
and he says, Mathers, what do you get when iron reacts with sulfuric acid?
Wait. Is he the chemistry teacher?
Amongst other things, yeah. I was surprised too, but he was asking a bunch of chemistry questions to Quoth, actually. As far as I understand it, he does chemistry and the beginnings of sympathy, but the advanced sympathy master is
Exaldao, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also rhetoric, I think.
Might be. I'm pretty sure they most of them do multiple things.
Let me see. I'll just say iron sulfide, and I don't know what's being exchanged. That what for to what gas would be.
Remember that this is a test for your character, not you. So
Yes.
you can just say iron sulfide and oxygen, and nobody will care if that's true or not.
Okay.
It will be true if your character rolls well, and it will be complete nonsense if your character doesn't.
Okay.
So you don't have to sweat over giving the right answer.
Yeah, I'll say iron sulfide off-gassing oxygen in a volume of 3 parts to 1.
Okay, let's see if you are right about that.
All right. Okay. So would this be under the chemistry skill that I don't have, or alchemy?
I personally say it's chemistry.
Okay.
I feel like alchemy is a bit more advanced. So you get to do beginner's lab test.
Whee!
I thought
That's
chemistry
interesting.
and
That you have chemistry, or that you don't have chemistry, but you do have alchemy. You can do some crazy shit, but you know, when they ask you about like sulfuric acids, you're like, what?
Yeah, chemistry is actually not a thing in the book, by the way.
It is.
it is, but it is completely different than alchemy. It's just two different things. They don't have anything to do with each other, so I understand correctly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure chemistry is a thing in the book as well.
Not seeing it.
I mean, in the first book, the most things that Croft learns from
Yeah,
everything in the beginning is chemistry.
chemistry is one of the things he learns. It is even taught at the university. The master alchemist, Master Mandrag, teaches alchemy and chemistry. Let's see what
it's not a thing in the book.
it is.
In Burning Wheel.
In Burning Wheel. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I see.
So same thing.
Different book. That can definitely be true.
Yeah, so sort of hard to have.
Yeah, I think it wasn't like a separate thing in the time that Burning Wheel is supposed to evoke.
Do you guys want to make it a separate thing as a new skill, or do you want to just say alchemy is chemistry? Done.
I think we should do a different skill for
Well,
that.
there is alchemy. Chemistry is kind of different, but not exactly. Anyway.
I mean, you need to know chemistry to know alchemy, I imagine.
That's not how they say it in the Burning. The name of the wind. I mean.
Oh, and Niren mentioned that there is a
between chemistry and alchemy. Like, chemistry is like the physical world, and alchemy has weird bullshit supernatural properties.
Yeah, I mean there's some overlap and there's some difference. How about we vote on it? Why don't you guys send me a whisper with your preference? Whether that is having it as a separate skill or just as part of alchemy. And if you guys go 2 for 2, then I will be the deciding vote.
Oh, and I should mention that Niren mentioned that there's a munition skill which is used for creating gunpowder and substances like that. So, if we did have chemistry as its own thing, we'd be breaking it, I guess, 3 ways. But
well, I don't think munitions is going to come up specifically, and.
Okay, you have unanimously decided that chemistry is now a skill.
Done.
All right.
That was easy. So yeah, there is a chemistry skill. Those of you who started with alchemy are welcome to trade it and say, well, I didn't actually learn alchemy, I learned chemistry, because that would be logical. But if you want to keep alchemy and not know chemistry, then that is also possible. You should just, come up with some reason how you learn to make weird magical concoctions without having a clue about what you're actually doing.
Oh, well, I mean, that's fairly straightforward. Knowing weird magical properties about things is way easier than knowing, like, actual things about things.
I mean, it's possible. That's why I'm fine with you guys starting with alchemy, but you can choose if you want to. You can also instead start with chemistry.
Well, in time, I want to know both.
Definitely.
And I mean, we can base it off of munitions, which would kind of make sense. As being the most similar skill that actually exists.
I mean, the munitions, it's more about like the construction of like bombs and firearms themselves.
Okay.
So I'm not sure.
So what would be the skills then? In munitions, it's perception and agility. And
what is it in alchemy?
I would think if it's just like a straight up knowledge skill, it would just be perception.
In alchemy is will.
Or maybe we should just have a chemistry wise?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. That might be a better option.
I mean, chemistry wise. You mean chemistry wise and then alchemy? Now, I feel like you can also practice chemistry. You can make chemical things, not just alchemical. So perception and agility makes sense, I think, for chemistry as well.
Okay.
Because you need to be able to apply things, which is agility, and you need to have knowledge, which is perception. So I think both of those.
I'm gonna put that in my being learned skills because I don't know it yet, but I want to.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mathers, have you decided whether you want to start with chemistry or alchemy?
I'll go with alchemy, and hopefully the process of learning chemistry will go well.
Certainly. So all your question tests will be obstacle 3, or in this case, obstacle 6. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, anything's possible except for this. Okay, a lot of things are impossible. Let me see if it'll be kind enough to let me roll. Aha! Okay. So, are there any modifiers?
You can use your helping die. There. Yeah, you should. Yeah. No, you can't fork in anything, so that's not it. But I imagine you can use your helping die to prepare you for this, if that is what you want to use it on. Your linked die.
Well, no, I guess I'm gonna save it because
because you're gonna fail all
Well,
the
okay.
way.
I mean, I could use it, and then I would have a chance of actually succeeding in this role. But a really remote one. Whereas if I save it, you know, the next thing that comes up may be something that I have a reasonable chance at it. I can just use the helping die. So no.
You all get a weird Ilodin question, so that always gives you a chance.
Okay. And I guess I'm not gonna spend my Artha on this. The base obstacle is 3. Yeah. That was not gonna happen.
Yeah. Ow. Master Hem frowns and says, "That's what they send to the university these days. I'm appalled."
Oh. I kind of shrink into myself a little.
But did you fork your astrology again? Do you have to re-roll that?
No.
I yeah.
Oh right, because
Yeah. Beginner's luck.
My bad. I knew that too.
Master Ilodin gives you a reassuring little smile and says, "Don't worry, this is an easy one.
Uh-oh.
Why is the sky blue?" And he looks genuinely cheerful. He's giving you an easy question.
Favorite, and I think you're playing him so well, Hasa. Thank you.
It is wonderful. And I think I'll say, since you're probably not actually asking about light refraction, it's because blue makes for a better jewel than blackness.
What do you think I am? Silly? Try harder.
Okay.
What did you say?
No. I tried to move her and she kicked my mouse into closing the window.
That's some precision disabling right there.
Classic cat.
It is
Because
wonderful.
the blue of the sky balances the gray blue of sea and the green of land better than silly questions about light refraction.
He nods and he says, yes, better. So what a skill are you rolling to tell him how the sky is blue?
That's a good question. I had the opportunity to take philosophy and didn't.
Yeah, this sounds a bit like philosophy to me.
You could go the philosophy route, but you're welcome to say what you use. You know, it's a lot. You can use a lot.
Well, okay. I think that Mathers is really bullshitting here. He really looks at it in terms of light refraction and like as a science question. So he's in uh, so really he's lying through his teeth.
Okay. Go
Um,
ahead.
okay.
Are you forking anything in?
Looking. I think. Well, I guess he's not. Yes, persuasion maybe.
Yeah, you can do that.
Conspicuous maybe. Oh, symbology for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, I think I said symbology didn't work. Like it was the wrong way around. So I'm gonna stick to that.
Okay.
But conspicuous, I can see.
Okay. And
I mean, it's Elodian. All he is conspicuous.
Okay.
And using your conspicuous can impress him. How exactly are you trying to be conspicuous?
So normally Mathers pitches his voice so that it's like just barely audible, but as unnoticed, but so that it only carries just as far as it needs to, and that it's kind of soothing tones that don't arouse people's interest too much. And now he's reversing that. He's trying to put on a show.
Okay.
And I did do my charts today because this is a very important day, so I'm going to fork in astrology as well.
Okay. So this is going to be slightly harder, because you're trying to lie to Elodin. That's hard.
Yeah.
That guy looks straight through you, so you're going to have to do it against an basic obstacle of 3+1 disadvantage.
Okay.
All
right, and this
write it down as a 4 because the system, like it says base obstacle, but means your total obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And while the die did work once before, now it's once again choosing not to.
Are you clicking? Because you can't click on the whole pictogram. I think some parts of it are active and others are inactive. I think the box that you can click on is different. So have you tried clicking on a different part of the die?
Oh, okay, there it goes. Okay. So modifiers would be 3.
Mm-hmm.
No Artha. And then the base obstacle, 4. Go. Ha!
Yeah.
No problem.
Got it.
Sucker to loaded.
Well, maybe you stumbled upon a wisdom that you do not realize yourself.
Yeah, sure, that's what it is. If you ask, that's I'd be or Mathers would be inclined to agree.
Of course.
But only to be agreeable.
Mathers, do you come from a well-known noble house? Like, are you? You're noble, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
But
are you the kind of like small-time noble somewhere, or are you the son of Mr. whomever from Mr. from wherever who's like this big shot like?
No, it's probably somewhat well known that his house is nearly defunct. Definitely, it's they're still out of favor and uh, uh, somewhat struggling in court, which may actually make things worse than better because they're out of favor. But I don't know.
Okay. So they talk to each other for a moment, and after some arguing, they all nod to each other and sit down. And Elodin beckons you over. He says, "Come over here. Come over here." And he beckons you over to move closer, and he whispers in your ear, We have decided that your tuition is 8 talents and a job."
Yeah.
And he hands you a piece of paper as if it's like a little secret that he's offering you.
I nod gravely and thank you. That's very kind. Although and as soon as I walk away, I roll my eyes and going, every time 8 talents.
Damn it. So he how do you decide to do this? This 8 talents and 1 job still puts you in an obstacle 2 resource test category.
Okay. Okay.
So you can choose to take the resources test or tell me what horrific things you had to do to get this kind of money.
Well, considering his relationship already paid for, I mean, I see a pretty obvious answer here.
I mean, I see some obvious answers too, but that's up to him.
Obvious is not always fun. You're right.
This could be the start of a beautiful relationship.
Well, no, I'm that's not the kind of relationship I think that I have with Davy. Like I mean, it may come down to it at some point, but I'd much rather pay my own way than beg her for money until.
Is to go into illegal business.
Oh yes,
money,
yes.
Or just plainly steal it.
Yeah, I mean the whole reason that he has that he may have the 8 talents to spend is the illegal business.
So do you roll resources, or do you?
Yeah, I'm gonna
put a gruesome
roll them
upon yourself to acquire it.
Okay.
And Lacey would have taken the gruesome fate any time of the day.
Okay, come on, thing. There it goes. Yeah, it's really weird what parts are active. So I'm gonna do this with no modifiers, I think, because you can't fork anything into resources. If I recall, like you can do in circumstances other than these, you can do like haggling or some such to modify modify the obstacle, but not or as a linked test.
What you could do is haggle with Elodin to lower the price. That would be a reasonable thing you could do.
Okay. Well,
it
sounded like he was thinking of it as being charitable. Maybe he's maybe he is fooling me back, or suckering me back. But I'm just gonna do it straight. Dwartha, base obstacle 2. Don't hose me. No.
You're getting hosed. So this was a routine test, so you failed, but I'm gonna grant you the money anyway. Somehow you made it, but you had to squeeze your funds. You had to ask for down payments and everything. And your resources will be temporarily reduced by 1. You can earn that money back by doing a job or, some kind of illegal business.
Okay.
Which will take up part of your time during the day, of course, but will also count as training towards the skill
Okay.
that you are doing your job in.